Hello everybody, this is ManuS and welcome to another MTG Arena starter deck series. Today it's time to continue the series with Izzet Spellweaving, so let's dive right in. Alright, so let's take a look at the deck. This is a very spell heavy Izzet deck, as the name already implies. So we have 2 Opt and 2 Magma Spray as cheap early game spells to make the deck a bit more consistent and defend ourselves against early aggression. Then we have some cheap early game units in a Labyrinth Guardian and a Seeker of Insight to help us with card selection and early blocking. Then we have a bunch of early game counter magic, 1 Sensor, 2 Essence Scatter and a Negate. Then, sorry about that. Then we have 2 removal spells in a Braid and Lightning Strike, as well as a Riddle form as another way to help with card selection, especially later and early on, either with some pressure or potentially blocking if we have an instant to activate Riddle form. Then we have Entrancing Melody as a way to generate some big swing and card advantage by stealing an opposing creature, and Pull from Tomorrow as our big advantage play to just draw a lot of cards at the end of the opponent's turn and then take over the game on our turn. Then we have some flying spell synergy creatures here with 2 Bloodwater Entity and 2 Enigma Drake as ways to try and finish off the opponent eventually. A Gale Strike just for some to buy us some time while drawing a card. This is basically just a slightly worse version of good old Impulse, but still pretty good. 1 Supreme Will, another card selection that also helps us deal with problematic spells from the opponent. 2 more counter spells in Cancel, and a Fiery Cannonade to defend ourselves against a bunch of small creatures to catch up from behind. And then we have a Magmaros, another oversized, undercosted creature with a downside that has synergy with our spells. 2 more card draw spells in Hieroglyphic Illumination. A Puncture Blow to deal with some bigger threats. Primal Amulet as a way to make our spells more efficient, and with Primal Wellspring then also generate game-winning advantage. Then we have a Spell Swindle, just another counter magic that also happens to provide us with a speed boost to play a big Pull from Tomorrow, Entrancing Melody, or one of our top end cards, or just do multiple things in turn. An Hour of Devastation as sort of our bigger sweeper to reset the board if we need to. 2 Cryptic Serpents as additional threats that have good synergy with the spell heaviness of the deck. And last but not least, Star of Extinction, the meteorite that made the dinosaurs go extinct. Destroy target land, Star of Extinction deals 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker for 7 mana. So there's another sweeper. Also, since Cryptic Serpent is probably only partially visible for anyone that doesn't know the card, it's a 6/5 for 7 that costs 1 less for each instant or sorcery in our graveyard, so it can be a 6/5 for 2 blue, which is pretty nice. And last but not least, we have 26 lands with 2 cycle lands, 4 duels, and a Field of Ruin for some color fixing and to deal with some annoying opposing deserts, for example. I played the deck a few games before and I wasn't very impressed. It felt pretty underpowered and seemed to have a lot of draws that were not very competitive with what other decks are doing, especially like even other starters. So I guess this is one of the weaker starters, but it's also like kind of a cool starter. It plays a lot of cool cards, so I hope we at least have some fun with it and maybe even win a couple games. So see you in a moment with the game 1.